Hello again, this is Southwest Scale Modelling, and this time we are looking at the legendary Monogram B-52D in 1/72nd scale. This kit has been out for a very long time. It's been out longer than I've been alive. I think it originates to the 60s, but correct me if I'm wrong. I acquired this kit about 2 years ago, quite by accident. I was in a customer's house and I noticed a dusty box on top of the fridge in the utility room, and it was this thing. It was the B-52D. Big, Bad and Beautiful, I think the boxing was called. You can look it up online. Got chatting to the customer, and he said he was given it as a wedding present by a friend a long time ago, and he knew he was never going to build it. I believe he served in the Air Force at some point and had something to do with the B-52 when it was in England. I don't know, but he said, yeah, by all means have it, and of course I would. Yeah, it's a Monogram B-52. I got this thing home and I pretty much started building it straight away. It is an old kit, so what you've got is raised panel lines, but they are very finely done. It is Monogram as well, and Monogram had a very good reputation for their accuracy of their models. Now, if you talk to anybody who knows about the B-52, the Monogram kit, even as old as it is, and some of the working functions that it's got, is held in high regard, and I can see why. I had a great time building this thing. I was so pleased that I built it. So let's get down into detail then. Like I said, raised panel lines before. It's the plastic is it's just thick plastic, so it's not going to bend or warp over time, particularly if you have to hang it up from the ceiling, and you know, it's not going to cause any trouble that way. Conventional build, really. There's little detail in the landing gear bays, in the cockpit, and things like that. It wasn't designed really to be displayed, you know, fully, you know, with interior open, so to speak. The glazing is a little bit chunky. I don't know if you can see it here. What it involves is once the model's installed, put the glazing in and try and best as you can fill around the gaps to make like the glazing look almost seamless into the fuselage. Now, it is very difficult, particularly when you're dealing with clear parts. The small windows up on the top here, they're actually not clear plastic. They're actually just panel lines into the regular plastic. So what I did was actually drill out holes in the top, and then used a micro scale crystal clear to give the impression of windows. Now, if I was to build this kit again, I would thin out the plastic on the underside of these parts here, and then maybe put some clear acetate underneath to support the crystal clear, and do it like that, just to make a bit more of a thinner, you know, crisper window. But you know, there it is. You can actually buy a vacuum canopy, which obviously has this part here and also incorporates the clear windows, and you have to make a cut on the fuselage around about there just to make a joint for the vacuum, but that's one option you have. Spinning the model around, you can see here that the actual flaps are actually workable now. I'll try and pull that out. No, it's not coming, but these are actually workable flaps here. So this one might come out. There you go. Here it comes. Okay, now obviously you can pose these in whichever position you want them to. It is a little bit toy-like, and there is detail missing from these flaps, but you know, bear in mind it's an old kit, so give them a bit of you know, leeway there. You've got, but most importantly, I don't know if you can see this now, maybe not, it's out of camera. You've got these vortex generators here, are actually a separate part. Now, these are missing on more newer kits, for example the Model Collect. but is a very important addition to this particular aircraft. Decals were quite limited, and as you would expect for a kit this old, they weren't very usable, so I managed to acquire some aftermarket decals, but most of the big ones were actually originals. Just spray them over with a clear coat of a lacquer varnish, and that will help stop them from cracking when you apply them to the water, and then just apply them in your usual manner. This particular scheme itself is the linebacker, I believe, scheme. So you've got it's really nice black undercarriage. And you'll see there's a few bits hanging off in a minute, but don't worry about that. I'll tell you why in a moment. It's that excellent shark mouth as well. Black underneath, fantastic shark mouth decal on there, absolutely brilliant. Basic detail inside the underside of the wings, and you do have a exposed bomb bay, but there's just one flat piece of plastic with some half molded bombs in there. Not really great. Probably best to actually have the bomb bay closed up if you need to. You may notice that there's no wheels on this particular aircraft, and that's because I've decided to make this particular aircraft in flight. So all I did was take some automotive filler and fill in where the gaps would be on the holes, and then put over some just essentially cheap masking tape cut to the correct dimensions of what the landing gear flap, the undercarriage flaps would be, and just stuck them on top and sprayed them black, and just to blend them in, and that does the job nicely. Not really much more to say about the underneath, but I will turn the thing around hopefully, and I'll just show you what we've done on the top there. Now you will notice hopefully that we've got these little hooks, which are in obviously the back on the two sides of the wings. This is so, and this is clever on Monogram's part, so you can actually hang the model from wherever you so wish. So this one actually lives on my ceiling. So I just took some 3 pieces of fishing line, this little we've got a ring here just to join all the lines together, and if we can just show you, up he goes. Now those particular plastic hooks are actually quite strong, so they're not going to snap off, and the model's not going to come crashing down. It's a nice little addition. I didn't want to sand those off because I wanted to preserve some of the originality of the kit, and I did think that was quite clever at the time, so that's why I left them. You could by all means put that on a stand, or even have it on its wheels if you wanted to. The particular colours of this model kit, the Southeast Asia scheme, I believe. So you've obviously got a tan and like a slate green and a dark green. I'll just find the colours. And these are the colours which I used on this particular aircraft. Now the underside was painted in just actually the whole aircraft was painted in just a flat black, and I'll tell you why in a moment. The first one is obviously the insides where you can see them is in a MIG zinc chrome interior green. The actual brown tan colour, from what I could work out, was I wrote this down here, it's a khaki brown. The actual label's rubbed off, but that is the brown tan colour. We've got MIG RLM 81, and I believe that is the darker green of the two. Okay, and last but not least is the lighter green colour, which is green slate, which is RLM 02. So you BF109 people out there know exactly what that means, but they seem to be the best match for what I could get. Now I can't get all the paints that I need exactly, so I have to make do with what I can get, and they came out okay. So overall flat black base colour, primed. These black walkway stripes which you've got here that was the reason why I primed it in a black colour, because I didn't have the decals. There's only a very basic decal sheet. Primed it in black and then took some very thin masking tape and just followed the raised detail of the walkway lines and the rest of it, and just laid the masking tape on top of that. Sprayed the camouflage colour on top of that again, and when you peel back the masking tape after you're finally happy with your paint scheme, you will get those nice sharp black lines. Now, I would recommend doing that on the newer B-52 models, like for example the Model Collect. Prime it in the colour which you have the walkway stripes into, and then do the rest on top of that. It gives a far neater finish. My only slight regret on this particular model is I think I maybe used a masking tape which was just maybe 0.5 millimeter too wide for the stripes, but you know, that could be fixed at some point. Again, all of this was done in MIG ammo acrylic paints. Very, very good paints. You just don't need, you just can't use them like Tamiya. You have to go thin light coats, wait till they dry and go over the top again. You know, don't put them down in one coat because it will not work. And that's about it really. Because you've got raised panel lines, you have to be a bit careful when you're sanding and filling, joints, because you will obliterate some of that detail. It can be reinstated, but if you're just careful and you don't go mad when you're sanding, you can actually work in between the lines, take care of the seams and the gaps, and job's a good one, as they say. You do get a full complement of bombs as well. There's about a dozen bombs on there, probably a bit more than that on the pylons. And all in all, I think, apart from its age, this is probably the best B-52 out there. And I really do mean that. If you got the vacuum form canopy and rubbed the thing down and scribed it and added some rivet detail, like honestly, the shape wise is brilliant. So you would probably have the best B-52. The only thing that would let you down is the lack of detail in the undercarriage bays, and on obviously the flaps here as well. You can fix some of that, but it depends how much you want to go to. And because I molded this thing in flight, it wasn't really a problem really. But really, if you can get hold of one of these, now they're getting quite expensive now on eBay. I know Revell do release Monogram kits from time to time. I would like to think that they would release this again at some point, even maybe use this one as a basis for a new retooling, and which I would say probably produce the best B-52 out there, given this as the template with recessed panel lines and rivets and added detail and maybe better glazing. But I hope this was helpful. But if you can build it, it's a bloody good kit. I'm thoroughly enjoyed it. It's nice to work on an older kit every now and again. Do not be put off by the raised panel lines. It makes no difference whatsoever. And then you could do whatever you want to this thing. I mean, you may notice here there was a hatch which I've added. All that is there was a piece of thin plastic card glued on, sprayed up. These here are not actually decals. These are actually just careful masking and spraying of black and white. Added some various bits and bobs, whatever. But yeah, build one. If you can get one, build one. You will not regret it, and you'll have a fantastic model at the end of the day. Monogram, yeah, fair play to you when you brought this one out. It was a good subject, and you've done a really, really good job. Thanks.